أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Dear audience, Assalamu alaikum. In the previous talk we talked about the Millat of the Ibrahim alayhi salam, the ideology and the creed of the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. I thought it would be appropriate to discuss about the ideology and the creed and the millat of Ibrahim Islam in a more detailed manner and seek further guidance from Kitabullah, Kitab-e-Aziz, Furqan-e Hamid, and I'm going to explore the guidance from the Kitab-e-Aziz, and this talk will comprise of two components to make it more convenient for the listeners to listen to this talk. And then the first part of this talk, which I am going to start today, is comprising of the verse number 135 of Surah Al-Baqarah, which is the second surah of the Kitabullah, verse number 65, 66, 67, and 68 of Surah Al-Imran, which is the third surah of the Furqan-e Hamid, and verse number 95 of the Surah Al-Imran, and verse number 75 of Surah 6. I'm going to commence today's talk with the recitation of the verse number 135 of Surah Al-Baqarah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَقَالُوا كُونُوا هُودًا أَوْ نَصَارَى تَهْتَدُوا قُلْ بَلْ مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. Meaning, and they say, be Jews or Christians, and then you shall be on the right path. Say, nay, but ours is the creed of Ibrahim, who turned away from all that is false, and was not of those who ascribe divinity to aught beside God. Let us concentrate on this verse of the Kitab-e-Aziz, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about a claim of the Jews and the Christians, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing to the humanity. وَقَالُوا كُونُوا هُودًا أَوْ نَصَارَى. And they say, means these disbelievers, they say that you either become Jews or you become Christians, tahtadu, so that you can be guided, so that you may get onto the right path. As an answer to this claim of the Christians and the Jews, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to speak out. And this is what we have also been taught by Kitab-e-Aziz, to speak out to the Christians and the Jews. Kul bal millata Ibrahima hanifa. That speak out, make an announcement to the humanity, and in particular to the Christians and the Jews. Bal millata Ibrahima hanifa, that the millat of Ibrahim, the ideology of the Ibrahim, the creed, the concept, and the faith of Ibrahim was Hanifa, was Hanif, meaning he turned away from all that is false, all that is evil, all that is from other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He rejected all the other commandments, all other sayings which were the source of which was from other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he was وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ, and he was not amongst the disbelievers. He was not among those who ought divinity besides God. He was not a mushrik. He was a Muslim. He surrendered himself completely to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the ideology and the creed of Ibrahim, that clinging on to everything, adhering to everything, adopting to everything which is the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and rejecting everything, refuting everything, turning away from everything which is from other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now I'm going to move to Surah Al Imran, and I'm going to recite verse number 65 to 68 of the Kitab-e-Aziz, and seek further guidance about the ideology of the Ibrahim alayhi salam and the claim of the people of the earlier revelations. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking to the people of the earlier scriptures in the verse number 65 of Surah Al Imran. Ya ahlal kitabi lima tuhajjuna fi Ibrahima wama unzilatit tawratu wal injilu illa min ba'dihi afala ta'qilun. Meaning, O followers of the earlier revelation, why do you argue about Abraham, seeing that Torah and Gospel were not revealed till long after him? Will you not then use your reason? Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using reasoning, and the faith has to be with the reason. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking to the people of the earlier scriptures, particularly the Jews and the Christians. Ya ahlal kitabi, O people, O followers of the earlier revelations, earlier scriptures, lima tuhajjuna fi Ibrahima, how can you argue about the Ibrahim, about the sayings, about the faith of Ibrahim, about the ideology of Ibrahim? How can you argue about Ibrahim? وَمَا أُنزِلَتِ التَّوْرَاةُ وَالْإِنْجِيلُ إِلَّا مِنْ بَعْدِهِ. And how can you argue when the Torah and the Gospel, the Injil, they were revealed far after Ibrahim alayhi salam? Ibrahim alayhi salam came much before the revelations of the Torah and the Injil, the Bible. How can you argue about Ibrahim? And why do you not use your reasoning? Afala taqilun. Why do you not use your reasoning? Why do you not use your mind? In the verse number 66, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is again speaking to the earlier of people of the earlier scriptures. Ha antum haula'i hajajtum fima lakum bihi ilmun falima tuhajjuna fima laysa lakum bihi ilm wallahu ya'lamu wa antum la ta'lamun. Meaning, lo, you are the ones who would argue about that which is known to you, but why do you argue about something which is unknown to you? Yet God knows it, whereas you do not know. So before going into the explanation of this verse, I just want to explore the meaning of the word ilm. Ilm means having the knowledge of something completely and without any falsehood in it. Means the knowledge, ilm is that knowledge which is 100% based on truth, and knowing it something completely. This is what we call it as this is the meaning of ilm. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking to the people of the earlier scriptures. Ha antum haula'i hajajtum fima lakum bihi ilm. Meaning that you are the ones that who would argue, who would create differences, who would quarrel, who will create differences on the things about which you haven't got the ilm, you haven't got the knowledge, You don't know with certainty what has happened. You don't know. And there's a lot of falsehood what you are saying in it. فَلِمَ تُحَاجُّونَ فِيمَا لَيْسَ لَكُم بِهِ ilm. But why do you argue about something which is unknown to you? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is again using reasoning that how the people of Holy Scriptures, how can you argue about the things about which you haven't got knowledge? You don't know with certainty. You don't know completely about the Ibrahim, about the ideology of Ibrahim, about the faith of Ibrahim, and how can you argue about him when you don't know, you don't have the ilm, meaning knowledge of something with certainty completely. You don't know the faith, you don't know the ideology of Ibrahim. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is finishing this verse, Wallahu ya'lamu wa antum la ta'lamun, that Allah is the one who knows. He is the most knowledgeable. Allah wallahu ya'lamu wa antum la ta'lamun, that Allah has got the full knowledge of everything and also about the Ibrahim and his faith. Wa antum la ta'lamun, and you do not know. And you do not know. And in the verse number 67, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is again uh, giving clarity about the ideology and the faith and the creed of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking to the humanity. Ma kana Ibrahimu Yahudiyan wala Nasraniyan walakin kana Hanifam Musliman wama kana minal mushrikeen. Meaning, Abraham was neither a Jew nor a Christian, but was one who turned away from all that is false, having surrendered himself unto God, and he was not of those who ascribe divinity to aught beside him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is again speaking in particular to the people of the earlier scriptures. Ma kana Ibrahim, that Ibrahim alayhi salam, Yahudiyan wala Nasraniyan, that Ibrahim alayhi salam was neither a Jew nor he was a Christian. Walakin, but instead, kana, he was Hanifam Musliman. He was a Hanif Muslim. Hanif means he turned away from all that is false, that is evil, that is from any other source than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, any guidance, any commandment that is from other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he turned away, he refused it, he denied it, he dissociated himself from that saying or that practice, and he was Musliman, he was Muslim, he was the one who surrendered himself completely to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He submitted his will according to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and wama kana minal mushrikeen, he was not amongst the people who disbelieve. He was not amongst those who ascribe divinity except or besides God. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the verse number 68, Inna awlan nasi bi Ibrahima lallazina taba'uhu wa hazan nabiyyu wallazina amanu wallahu waliyul mu'minin. Meaning, behold, the people who have the best claim to Abraham are surely those who follow him, as does this prophet and all who believe in him, and God is near unto the believers. Let us concentrate on this verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking out to the humanity, in particular to the people of the earlier scriptures. Inna awlan nasi bi Ibrahima. Indeed, the people who have the best claim, who follows the Ibrahim in true spirit, are those lallazina taba'uhu, who follow him, who follows his ideology. The people who follow the ideology and the creed of Ibrahim, these are the people who have the best claim of the teachings of Ibrahim, the faith of Ibrahim, the creed and the ideology of Ibrahim, they have got the claim because these are the people who follow the creed of Ibrahim. And these are, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Wahazan Nabiyyu, and these people are this Nabi, this meaning our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the one who follows the creed of Ibrahim. Wallazina amanu, and the people who have attained faith with and through the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These are the people who have got the best claim on the ideology and the creed of Ibrahim alayhi salam, because they do follow the ideology and the creed and the faith of Ibrahim. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is finishing this verse with a very strong message to the people of the earlier scriptures as well as to the humanity. Wallahu waliyul mu'mineen, that God is the wali, Allah is the wali of mu'mineen. He is near unto the believers. He is the protector of the believers. I am going to now I'm going to recite the verse number 95 of the Surah Al Imran and seek further guidance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Kul sadaqallah fattabi'u millata Ibrahima hanifan wa ma kana minal mushrikeen. Say, God has spoken the truth. Follow then the creed of Ibrahim, who turned away from all that is false and was not of those who ascribed divinity to aught beside God. So in this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to speak to the humanity. Kul, speak out, make an announcement. Sadaqallahu, that Allah has spoken the truth. God has spoken the truth. Fattabi'u millata Ibrahima hanifa, and follow the creed and the ideology, the millat of Ibrahim. And that ideology was Hanif, meaning turning away from all that is false, evil, or any guidance or any commandments which is from other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is from min dunillah. So he refused everything, he denied everything, he turned away from all, the source of which was from other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ, and he was not amongst the mushrikeen. So he was not of those who ascribe divinity to aught beside God. With this, I'm going to close the today's talk with the message that the millat, the ideology of Ibrahim alayhi salam, was Hanif, meaning turning away from all that is false, evil, or any guidance or commandment which is from min dunillah, from other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he was a Muslim, meaning the people of the earliest scriptures who argue about the Ibrahim, they don't have the knowledge, and they argue about Ibrahim without the complete knowledge, which is knowing something with complete certainty and complete and in its entirety. And our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and we as Muslims are being asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, are being ordained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, enjoined by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to follow the creed of Ibrahim, the millat of Ibrahim, that is Hanif, meaning turning away from all that is false, all that is evil, and turning away from all of it, the source of it which is other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, min dunillah, any guidance, any saying, any commandments, the source of which is from other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to turn away if we want to adopt the ideology of Ibrahim, and if we want to be successful in this life and in the life to come. And Ibrahim alayhi salam was not amongst the mushrikeen, and the people who have got the best claim on the ideology of Ibrahim, the faith of Ibrahim, are the ones who truly follow the creed and the ideology, the millat and the faith of Ibrahim alayhi salam. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا واخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين جزاكم الله خير.